Hey guys, what's up? Ivo Remo McLean for life, and I'm back for more series of reviews. And I'm gonna start with Friday the 13th, the franchise, because there are actually 12 movies, and I'm gonna review all of them. And I hope you like my poster right there, because my favorite horror movie, one of my favorite horror movies of all time, my favorite Jason Friday the 13th film. People are making fun of it. But I'm gonna start with the original in the first movie. So that's the first movie. I actually have Blu-ray double feature. I don't have those one, the box that came out. That's way too expensive for me. I'm not rich. I'm not rich. I can't afford that kind of money, to buy that box, that deluxe edition, or that long box that has the original posters of every Friday the 13th in it. I can't afford that. From Shout Factory. I can't afford it. It's over 100 bucks, 100 euros. I even can afford to hardly making out, but I hardly afford to get out, but in my life. But yeah, I'm fine with those two double features. And Friday the 13th, the original. Before I forgot to tell you, but I also do have the T-shirt of the film. So yeah, ta-da! this is the T-shirt that I bought back in 2017. And yes, I'm a fan of Friday the 13th franchise. I love this franchise, and it's one of my favorite horror films. They were warned, they are doomed, and on Friday the 13th, nothing will save them. And yeah, and of course, I do have. I think I do have the poster of the first movie with the counselors, on this disc. That's the original poster with the counselor. This disc, Friday the 13th. And it has Dolby Digital, and yeah, and Friday the 13th. The original, which starts, the original movie is considered a classic because this movie actually started with the boom slashers back in the 80s. Halloween and Friday the 13th started the boom slashers in the 80s. And what can I say about this film? Well, I liked it, but back in 2009, there was a reboot that came out with Jared Padalecki, and at that time I was a huge fan of Supernatural, so I watched both the films, and I read the comments, and I would be that this is the film that started all, the first movie that actually started all. So I wanted to know what the fuss was about, and that time I felt this movie was boring. I thought it was a slow paced, and I thought it was very slow. It was slow, and we never saw who was, we never saw the silent who, or why was this person doing this. And that's one of my biggest problems with the film. I don't think this movie is a classic, and I don't think it's is the best one in the series, because a lot of fans have pointed out that Friday the 13th is actually the best in the series, or even their favorite horror film. It's not one of my favorite horror films. So back in 2017, I liked it a lot, but I have not seen this movie over 4 years. The last time I saw was 2018 when I was rewatching all 12 films, but that was the last time I watched it. Until last night when I rewatched this film, and I don't know, I felt bored with the film. I thought it was slow. I think it's an average film, an average horror film, but I think that the sequels are much better. I even think that part 2 is better. I love this movie to death. This one I like, but most of the things I don't get it. So I'm just gonna start with the story back in 1985 by scouts in the Camp Crystal Lake. A couple, a girl and a boy that gets killed. No one knows why. Set in the present 1980, which is actually set in the present on Friday the 13th. A new counselors, they're actually reopening Camp Crystal Lake, and new counselors are showing to help. They're actually hired to help out, and they actually fallen under this maniac who starts killing them. So local residents are saying that Camp Crystal Lake is jinxed, it's cursed. It has a curse. Even Crazy Ralph by Walt Gorney says, you're all doomed. Seriously, you're all doomed, and that's what the tagline is, on Friday 13th when nothing, they were warned, they were all doomed. On Friday 13th, nothing will save them. That's what the tagline was about. And this girl, Annie, Robbie Morgan, she shows up. I think was Robbie Morgan. She shows up, when Crazy Ralph warns her, and also, and of course, also this one of the locals also warns her that she should be careful, she should quit, and she says, I can't quit. So, while counselors are trying to reopen Camp Crystal Lake, Annie is actually the person that gets killed by this assailant, by a mystery killer who goes and slashes her neck. And I don't get it. Why the fuck? The first time I saw that was disappointed. Why the fuck, was that in the film? Why was she didn't do nothing? Why she was so innocent and young? Why was she had to be killed? I just didn't like that at all. I don't see who is doing that at all. So, weird things are actually happening. And I forgot to mention, the movie is slow and starts slow and it's slow paced. Even the kills, in my opinion, does not make a justice to this movie. But the last 10-15 minutes with Betsy Palmer, when she shows up, as Mrs. Voorhees, that time starts being more interesting. That actually starts to be more interesting. But rest in peace, Betsy Palmer. But the film, I'm gonna continue with the story. Then I'm gonna complain. So Annie is the person that gets slain, and then weird things start happening in the in the camp. First, Crazy Ralph shows up, then a police officer shows up, and of course that time, people start keep dying. There's this guy who sees someone is in the cabin and he gets killed. You see his wrist slashed, and then this young counselors keep getting killed. Kevin Bacon is in this movie. I'm surprised he never wanted to talk about this film. Who cares? He gets speared through his neck, but there's actually an arrow who also misses Brenda, which that was Tom Savini who actually fired. It wasn't Bill. It was Tom Savini who fired. That arrow almost missed Brenda and almost hit her. But these people, but I think it was 9 bodies. All of them gets killed. There's also Marcy. She gets an axe in the head. We can see that, and these guys start dying except Alice. Alice Hardy. She's the last one. And because she finds out the killer tries to kill her too, and we don't know who is doing that. And and also there's Brenda. She's actually thrown through the window. And that time Miss Voorhees shows up, and it turns out it's Mrs. Voorhees who does that. Because a young boy drowned back in 1957, and she blamed the counselors, and she wanted revenge. She actually wanted to have revenge, and that actually was about the film. She wanted to have revenge. But the final scene, I love when her head gets chopped off. Alice grabs the machete right there, and she goes and chops her head out. She goes and chops her head out. Just awesome. I really love that. It was awesome scene, badass scene. It was awesome scene. But on the end, when she has a nightmare that the young boy Jason, he shows up and he tries to drown her, but she's actually in the nightmare. She wakes up, and she says the young boy is still out there, and then the movie, of course, ends. Now, this was directed by Sean S. Cunningham. He didn't know that this is going to be an ongoing franchise. Was written by Victor Miller. This was inspired by Halloween. And that time was also the Fog came out, and I think was inspired by Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because that also started the chains of boom slashers, back in '70s and the '80s. And yeah, and of course Tom Savini, he did special effects, and his throat is being cut, um, and an axe, Marcy gets an axe in the head. Or there was a scene in which was built, he actually was hanged on the door, and there were actually an arrows. You see an arrow in the walls, and in the eye, in the chest, and you can then assume it was a woman who probably do that. But I don't buy Mrs. Voorhees as the killer, because how did she actually throw Brenda through the window? I don't get that. I don't buy her. That she was the original killer. I don't buy her at all. And she's like 50 years old, and she goes and kills like that. And I didn't like, that these young kids, get killed. There was a sex scene between Kevin Bacon and I think it was Marcy. It was shitty paced, in my opinion. The last 15 minutes, Betsy Palmer shows up. It's a really good one. But it's just interesting. The fight scenes, I actually did like it. I thought that Betsy Palmer saved the film. I think she needed a car at the time, so she called this movie piece of shit. But later she told the fans that she doesn't know who the guy with the mask is. Her son drowned, but she get a lot of fan base. When she was still alive. A lot of fans idolize her, and they actually went, and they sympathize with with her character, that she was doing only because she wanted to make sure that this one won't happen ever again. And Betsy Palmer, she was really nice. She actually was really nice to the fans, and this movie made her famous. And she actually was really nice. Betsy Palmer is the best of the film. Now, Adrienne King, when this movie was released, she got a stalker. I think that the stalker, I don't know, was he threatening her with a gun or with a knife? That's one of the reasons she didn't want to return for the sequel. But her character was killed. I think she did in 2 days. Then she escaped because there was a stalker when this movie released, and that's why she never appeared on any TV, any movie. They actually called her back in 2009 for the reboot, and she was for it. But then the producers called her that they don't need her at all, in the cameo scene. So yeah, so that's actually the first Friday the 13th. Was shot in, I think it was 29 days. It was shot in New Jersey. It wasn't the Camp Crystal Lake that was actually the lake in New Jersey. It's still there. The camp is still there. It's still right in Friday the 13th because it became famous for it. The camp is still there, just not called Crystal Lake. This was budget $550,000, and of course it made $39 million. This is actually a low budget that earned the $39 million, which is surprisingly. And the first movie is considered by the people classic. I think it will be a classic. Just to me, is an average film. It's an average film. It's slow paced. The kills are slow. And I still don't know how how they actually how Pamela Voorhees used bow and arrow and fires on Bill, or how she hangs him in the door. I don't get that. There's also the scene when Brenda, she's called out, and she's on the shooting range, and someone turns the door, the lights. That's another thing that's beyond me. But the actress, Betsy Palmer, she portrays the voice, that her son wants revenge, that he draws her to do that. But yeah, that's actually is, yeah, I forgot to mention, but Sean S. Cunningham, actually he wanted that his son would actually have been as Jason, because he's like 1 hour, 16 minutes. He's like only few scenes in it, like 2 minutes he's in it, the film. But her wife that time, she did not allow that. She said no. So he actually found a new actor who played young Jason that round. I don't know if he's here. The music was done by Harry Manfredini. The music score, really I'm not a fan of that music score. I liked it when the glass broke, in the open scene. I like that. Um, Now, Laurie Bertram, she played Brenda. She passed away. The actress already passed away. She's no longer with us anymore. That truck driver who drives Hennig also passed away. There's also a snake that was actually killed. It was a real snake. I don't know why the fuck they killed a real snake. The guy, I think Bill, goes with a machete and kills her. I don't know why the fuck they do that. I mean, what actually did the snake do to them? They didn't try to attack them. Why the fuck did Tom Savini had to do that? I think that Morgan Robbie, she actually said that she felt bad for the snake. But why the fuck they had to kill the snake? They didn't attack them. They didn't do nothing to them. She was just the wrong place, the wrong time. And I didn't like, why did Marcy got an axe in the head? What the fuck did she do? Why was Annie slashed? They do nothing. They're not responsible that, they actually not responsible that her, they're not actually responsible that the young boy drowned. Maybe Mrs. Voorhees should just focus on revenge on getting those kids who were actually responsible that her boy drowned when she actually was the cook there. Maybe she should try to do that instead, targeting wrong kids. And she said, "Oh, this place." I'm sorry, but I don't buy her motivations. And I thought this movie is boring, slow. Now, I love horror films. I love some of the horror films. And I was just gonna say, when I watched John Carpenter's The Thing, I was blown away. And that was 2 years later, and that was a better film. A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, which is my favorite. Yeah, that's my favorite horror slasher film. It's better. This movie is better. Stephen King's Graveyard Shift is underrated. Gets shit. It's better film in my opinion. Better horror film. And there's also, The Howling is actually to me better film. Even Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, is to me better film than Friday the 13th, the original. Even Halloween, the original, I think is better than this one. But there's other films, My Bloody Valentine 3D, I enjoy, Yes, the remake, the remake, I enjoy because at least, we have a nudity and I see this girl, Irene, been all naked with her bits, her great breasts. This film doesn't even show breasts at all. Part 7 does, this doesn't. I don't care about sex scene between Kevin Bacon and the actress who plays Marcy. I think was Janine Taylor. Yeah, that was Janine Taylor. I don't care about the sex scene. I'm sorry, I don't. And there's other films, and Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, I enjoy a lot more. Even Freddy vs. Jason, I enjoy more. Wes Craven's New Nightmare, I enjoy more than the first one. The first Scream, the original Scream, I enjoy more. And there's also better films, There also, there's also Blade 2, I enjoy. They're better movies. Even, even Scream 4 is to me better than Friday the 13th. And there's also more horror films that I actually enjoy. But Prince of Darkness I enjoy a lot more. John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness, John Carpenter's The Fog I enjoy. And like I already said, John Carpenter's The Thing is one of my favorite movies of all time. I enjoy it. Those are better horror films in my opinion. What else, Even that movie that I liked, I Know What You Did Last Summer, the first one, I thought it was much better horror film, but that's just me. I just don't get it why these kids are killed. They didn't do nothing. I mean, why is this person we never saw targeted him? The only thing that I liked about the film was the backgrounds, how they filmed, the film scenes and the film locations that was filmed in New Jersey. That's the only thing that I liked. And Betsy Palmer when she shows up on the end of the film. But most of the film, it's 1 hour 35 minutes, and this is like uncut version. But it's just boring, It's slow paced. It's very slow. This is actually, very low on my Friday 13 list. Because after I review all of them, I will rant and then I will actually review, actually do the rankings, my own rankings of the Friday 13 films. But yeah, I enjoy, John Carpenter's thing a lot to death. I thought it was a great film. Prince of Darkness, John Carpenter. The Fog, I enjoy. Those three I enjoy dearly, my favorite. The Hills Have Eyes, 2006 remake. Shocker, I enjoy. The People on the Stairs, The Serpent, the Rainbow. Those are horror films. Those I enjoy. Those I actually enjoy. House of X, 2005 remake, I enjoy. Friday the 13th reboot, yes, even the reboot I enjoy. Even the sequels, I enjoy. Part 2 is one of my favorite horror films I enjoy. Yes, I enjoy this film a lot. I enjoy this film. Part 2 is actually one of my favorite horror films. I prefer this movie over this one. I thought this was better. I love this movie to death. I like this movie an average, I just call it an average horror film. It started the boom slasher films. Now this is actually not rated because it's 1 hour 35 minutes long. It's not rated. But I think this movie is better. This is my favorite. This is one of my favorite Friday 13 films. Not number one, but definitely very high. But I don't know what else to say. Adrienne King as Alice Hardy, the final girl, the heroine. She did a great job. I don't know why the fuck she did. Why they had to go and kill off her character in part 2. I don't know. That's my minor issue with the film. But I thought, Amy Steele is better than Adrienne King. That's just me. But I actually can't wait, to talk about part 2 because this is gonna be better review, But yeah, the first Friday 13 film, I don't know how much to say. I like it, but more a time waster. To me, it's more an average film. It's not great as the sequels that I enjoy the sequels a lot more. But I'll actually get to the films that I hate. Part 9, yeah, I hate part 9. Jason Goes to Hell, that's the worst one. So yeah, this is better than the part 9 in my opinion, and even better than part 8. I think it's better than part 8 in my opinion. But yeah, Friday the 13th, I don't think this is bad film. I mean, I enjoy the film on Blu-ray. Like I said, I like filming locations. I don't like when they're actually in the in the lake or swimming, these kids. I don't like it. But this movie made, back in the 80s, this movie made a lot of films that were actually then filmed in the woods. They tried to do more slasher films, but no one could nail as good as Friday the 13th, the original film. No one of the slasher films could nail good as Friday the 13th, the original film. There was Prey, I think it was 1983. That movie sucked. Or it was 1984. That movie sucked. I hated it. Especially the finale. I hated it. It sucked. Like the killer kills all the cancers, all the group, the group, of the vacationers goes and kills all of them, and he lets the final girl go because he wants her. That movie fucking sucked. It sucked dick. It sucked. Still, the first Friday 13 it's actually a really good average slasher film. That's just me, But like I said, to me, it's boring. It's slow, very slow. It's slow pace, the original. You know, the most scene, with Jason. I don't know what was the reaction, because I mean, I think it's so stupid to that boat, and she's like all laughing that the kid jumps off and grabs her and pulls her in the lake. Why the fuck was she even the boat doing in it? That's another problem I have in the film. The final scene, I liked it that she goes and kills off Mrs. Voorhees and she defeated, she survived. I loved it, but the final scenes makes no sense. Why she goes in the boat, or she has a nightmare that she's been pulled off by the boy who drowned. I'm sorry, but the first one to me isn't a slasher, isn't one of my favorite horror films. That's just me. Even though I do have a t-shirt, because yes, I am a fan of Friday the 13th. I am a fan. You can see I got the poster of part 7, and I am a fan, of this franchise. Just I'm not a fan of this film. It's not one of my favorite horror films. But like I said, I enjoy films, like I enjoy movies like The Hills Have Eyes remake. Friday the 13th, the reboot, I enjoy a lot. Yeah, I love that movie to death. I enjoy and I love John Carpenter's The Thing, Prince of Darkness, The Fog. And I even enjoy, A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. Stephen King's Graveyard Shift, I enjoy. I love that movie to death. The first Scream, I enjoy. A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, Freddy vs. Jason, I enjoy. New Nightmare, I enjoy. Even A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, I enjoy. Even the part 7, Friday 30 part 7, The New Blood, I enjoy. Those are my favorite movies ever. Blade 2, both of them I enjoy. They're better horror films in my opinion. The even Deep Rising, I forgot to mention. Yes, Deep Rising, I enjoy that film. House of Wax remake, I enjoy. People hate it on it, I enjoy. I love that. Those are to me better than Friday the 13th the original. That's my favorite movies. The Hills Have Eyes 2006, and I keep saying one of my favorite horror films ever. I love that movie dearly to death. I love that movie dearly to death. 2006, great horror film. The sequel would be an average film, time waster, but the first one, the remake from I forgot the director who directed the film, Alexander Aja. I really, really enjoyed that film. One of my favorite horror films ever. But that's my review on Friday the 13th, 1980, the original film. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the sequel, which will be soon than ever. But thanks for watching. Take care. I'm out. Peace. Bye bye.